Hello, this is Kathy Burris from Green Hope Coaching with Kathy Burris, and I'm here to ask you a question. Are all stuck places equal? Think about it for a little bit. Are all stuck places equal? Now, I'm assuming that your first response is, well, no. But on the other hand, stuck is stuck, right? Stuck means that we're not able to move forward, that we have a place that has our feet stuck in the mud somewhere. We have bubble gum to our shoe. What are some of the other examples that people have given me? Stuck means we're not moving forward. We're in a rut. We're in the same place. We're stopped. It can mean a variety of things. So, are all stuck places equal? Well, I want to give you some example of some of the stuck places that the women have been in that I've talked to recently. For instance, stuck place number one is a woman who has a dream of a business, a new venture, a project, okay, that she wants to take. She can see what it needs to be. She can see who it's going to help. She can see a lot of the pieces and parts that need to happen in order for this to take off. Okay, so she's taking a step forward and finding herself stuck. So, stuck place number one. She's not quite sure what to do next. She's not quite sure how to take the next step, the how of it. She's not quite sure she has the skill to do it. There's some stuck things in her stuck place. Stuck place number one. Okay, so stuck place number two is a woman who believes in her heart that she was made for more. She believes it with everything in her that she has skills and abilities and desire to do the next thing, a longing to make a difference, and she even knows what she wants to do. Yeah, the difference she wants to make, she's just not sure how to go about it. So she doesn't have all the pieces and parts that the first gal has. She has a longing. She has an awareness of a need. She has an awareness that she may be the answer for that need. But what to do next with that? Who would actually, need her to do that right now is a stuck place. She's not sure. She's not able to take that next step because she's not quite sure what the next step should be. So she's kind of got a bullseye, but it's not really clear. She feels she's walking in some fog. There's a little bit of hesitancy. There's a lot of hesitancy because she's just not sure that the next step she takes is actually the right step. So she's stuck. Okay, stuck place number two. Okay, now the third woman is struggling in other areas. The third woman is struggling because she doesn't see. She wants to believe she was made for more, but she doesn't really see that she has any value, that she's making a difference anywhere, that she doesn't believe that she's doing things that matter right now. And so there's this stuck of just not believing enough that I am the right person to do the next thing. The thoughts and processes that go through her head are more like, who do I think I am? That anyone would want me to do something like this, that anyone would need me for anything. So she's stuck. Stuck place number three. The fourth woman is a woman who knows she has skills and abilities, knows she would want more, knows even what that might be in some cases, but right at the moment, because of a loss she's experienced, somehow she doesn't care. She can't care. It's too hard. There's too much. The loss is too great. The ache is too hard. If other people need her, I'm sorry, I can't be the one to help you because I can't help myself right now. I'm hurting too bad. And it's not that she doesn't want to, it's that her mind is so consumed with the loss. Her heart is so broken. Her thoughts keep, focusing on the pain, and rightfully so. And that loss could be the loss of a loved one, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a loss of a dream, a loss of health, loss of a job, loss of income, loss of relationship, loss after loss. It could be a lot of things. If she's stuck, and she may know that she is, she may not, but right now, she can barely breathe, let alone even attempt to take a step forward. Her stuck place is sometimes mud up past the top of her head. And it's suffocating the life out of her. Stuck place 4. So as you listen down through that list, or was able to insert yours at any point, because stuck is all kinds of things, right? And just because we're stuck doesn't mean we're stuck like everybody else. We all have our own stuck places. Stuck's pretty common. And we each have a place where we're stuck somehow. Now think about it. In stuck place number 1, the woman could see her bullseye. She knew what this project is that she wants to accomplish. She knows who the people are she wants to help and the need that they have. And she knows the skills that she has in order to do that. But she may need to learn some new skills. She may need to create some more support around her, to collect some resources that would help her. She may need to ask for help in certain areas that she can't, so that she can take her next steps forward. But while there is internal awareness, internal growth, internal thoughts that need to be addressed sometimes in order to break through and take that next step, she's got a lot of things already in place so that once she does, she's well on her way, right? So stuck place number 1 is stuck, but not terribly deep. It can be worked out if we know who to ask and how to get what we need. Stuck place number 2, a lot can happen when we just get clear on what it is that we're aiming for, that bullseye. When we can just identify how the things that we know about us, the things that we are learning about us, if we can just identify where God's inviting us to use our design, our skills, and our abilities, to get clear on the need that we see. Because if God gives us eyes to see it, chances are He gave us something to do, some skill, some ability, some resource that we can speak into that need. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to do it all. But when we get clear on what that bullseye is, many times our stuck places disappear because we now know where we're going. We can take next steps. We can learn the things that the woman in stuck 1 has already identified. And so getting stuck in that place is recognizing I just don't have a very clear vision. of where I want to go. So we take time to envision ourselves where we want to be. Okay. So, woman in stuck place number 3. That's a little different thing. Because when you don't know your value, when you don't know that you have worth, when you don't know that you matter, you can't see that anything you do might matter either. And so there's a lot of internal work that needs to happen. These others have internal work too, but when it's coming to know our value, that's a pretty important piece. I know. I've been there. Still am there sometimes where I have to think it through again. What's your value? Do you know that you are worth so much? And that the God who created you made you special for a reason. You are who you are for a reason. You do what you do for a reason. But many times, to get out of that stuck place, we need to recognize that we may need some help. We may need a trusted girlfriend that we can share hearts with. We may need a counselor that we can deal with some of the things that caused us to quit believing in ourselves. We may need a coach to help us take next steps in learning to accept and own who we really are, the beauty of who we really are. Stuck place number 3. It's going to take some work, but it's worth every moment. Stuck place number 4. Many times we don't think of that as stuck when we're talking about having lost and grieving and struggling to survive, let alone take next steps. Okay? Sometimes it's just a grief place, and we need to recognize that it has its own thing that it does in us, right? And so while grief is a time when we just need to give ourselves permission to just be, your grief is going to be different than mine. Mine is different than my husband's or my children. This month it has been our daughter's 14th anniversary of her death. She died 14 years ago on Sunday, the 16th. And, August 1st came, and I thought, well, I'm fine. And then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th came, and I started to sense that I was struggling more. I was slowing down more. And as the days ticked off, I found myself trudging in mud again. And this past week, I found myself so not consumed with grief like I was, but experiencing it again, feeling the heaviness of it, the burden of it, the broken place of it. And I had to give myself permission to just stop and just be. And there was one day I called everything off, and I just sat on a sofa in my front room looking outside and just let my mind find things to be grateful for, weep over things that I miss and that I've lost, and just let myself experience whatever it needed to feel that day. And Friday and Saturday were tough. And I had asked for prayer, and I had people that were praying for me, and some called, and some left me with scripture that just has become very meaningful over the last few days. And some sent a text at midnight, and some did. There were lots of ways that people supported me in that time. And I needed all of them. And Sunday morning came, and I woke up and I thought, today's the day, and I'm okay. And I had celebrated, it's a word I'd made up, I'd celebrated that day. It was in part celebrating because there was life. I had experienced her life, but the dread was that it was the day of remembering her death. And I celebrated it so much over that week, but somehow that morning I could celebrate not just her life, but the lives of people she touched, people at church that said, I remembered this, and she taught me that, and I just saw these things happening, and friends of hers that sent a text or emailed me or wrote a post about Alicia and remembering this day. And we spent the afternoon with dear friends that have been part of the entire journey with us. And, there was a lot in that day to celebrate. And I didn't feel the heaviness anymore. But when you're a woman in that place, that kind of stuck is different. And we may be stuck, and there may be times where we're ready to bust out of it. And sometimes we just have to stop and be still and close our physical eyes and let the eyes of our heart and our mind see where God is showing up with hope. And that's a different kind of stuck. So I went on about that a little bit longer when I started to tell my story. But here's the thing. In the next few days, we're going to be, I'm hosting a master class. It's called Unsticking the Stuck Places. And we're talking about stuck. And so if you're in place 4, this may not be the time for you to be part of it. You may be ready for it. You may want to. You may want to just listen in and not participate, whatever you need. If you're in stuck 4 and you're grieving the loss of someone you love, I just invite you to just be still. And I'd love to share with you. I'd love to talk with you if that's something that would benefit you. I've coached a lot of families who are grieving. It's hard to coach when you feel like you're so stuck in this place that your grief has put you. It's okay. But if you're in stuck 1, 2, or 3, or any variation of that, then this masterclass may be just the thing for you. So I want to invite you to consider if a masterclass on talking about stuck places, helping you identify where you're stuck, which is a huge part of getting unstuck, helping you identify where you're trying to get, which is another huge part of getting unstuck, and then figuring out what we're going to do with it in the last couple of sessions. So I hope that if you're in stuck 1, 2, or 3, that you will consider being part of the masterclass. If you're interested, I'm going to put the link. You just need to sign up. It's free. I just need your email address so I can give you the Zoom information. And then we're going to have some teaching time, and then we're going to have some time where you can share what you're learning, the insights you're gaining, the questions you might have. We're going to be addressing some of those things. So, where are you stuck? And if all stuck places aren't the same, what does yours look like? All right? Thanks for listening. We're going to talk more about that. I hope you'll join me. Thanks. Bye-bye.